town, stay a while. While you're here, I'll tell you the story of a friend of mine. As I tell you this tale, I'm inclined to reserve all judgments about all characters in this tale, and I advise you to do the same. Well, our story starts in the summer of 1922 in West Egg, Long Island. I had rented a summer house there on the very tip of the Sound. Adjacent to my house and directly across the bay from the fashionable and glittering East Egg was a mansion that belonged to a mysterious man. This man, whose name I would later learn, was Gatsby. My second cousin, Daisy, lived in East Egg, just across the bay. She moved there after her steep climb up the social ladder when she married Tom Buchanan. I'd known Tom in college. I hadn't seen the Buchanans since just after the war, so I decided to meet them for dinner at their home. It was like visiting two old friends, but two old friends whom I scarcely knew at all.
You see, Nick, I've got a nice place here. It was once owned by an oilman.
And so I told him that he can't afford it, and then just the Nick, I'm paralyzed with happiness.
How you doing, Daisy? I haven't seen you in a while.
Oh, forgive me. This is my friend Jordan Baker. She plays
Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
professional golf.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you. So, Nick, I've heard that you've been living in West Egg. I know someone there.
Oh, I don't know a single person.
Well, you must know Gatsby.
Gatsby?
Ring, ring, ring.
I believe you might be my next door neighbor.
Shh. I don't have to know what's happening.
Something happening?
It's been said that Tom has a woman in New York.
A mistress in New York?
Nick, tomorrow I'd like to take you in the city.
I'd love to go.
Well, it's getting late and I've got a golf match in the morning. I must be going to bed now.
I kept hearing more and more about Gatsby as the days went by on Long Island. Upon mentioning I lived in West Egg, everyone wanted to know if I had made acquaintance with the Mr. Gatsby. I hadn't, until one day his chauffeur brought me an invitation to one of the lavish parties I had heard so much about. I decided to go, if only to see what all the chatter was about.
Your face looks familiar. Were you in the 3rd Division during the war?
Indeed I was.
I knew I recognized your face somewhere.
Say, you don't happen to know the host, do you? I live right over there, and a man called Gatsby sent over his butler with an invitation.
I'm Gatsby.
I'll beg your pardon.
I'm sorry, I thought you knew. Say, old sport, would you want to go out with me to lunch sometime? Whatever time suits you best.
I'd like to go.
Tomorrow, then. Excuse me. Good night.
Good night. The following day, Gatsby and I went to lunch in the city with a friend of his. After lunch, I ran into Jordan Baker at the Plaza Hotel, who told me that Gatsby and Daisy were lovers about 5 years prior. She said that Daisy only married Tom because Gatsby went off to fight in the Great War. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. A miraculous coincidence. They used to be lovers, and now they live right across the bay from each other.
It's not a coincidence at all. Gatsby bought that house so Daisy would be right across the bay.
Oh.
As a matter of fact, Gatsby would like you to ask Daisy over for tea one day and then have him come over.
Does she want to see Gatsby?
I know. She's not to know about it. Gatsby would like to see her.
And I gave him the wrong size, It's just,
Oh, that's a tough go.
but we'll see how everything goes. Just been waiting to
We've met before.
We haven't met for many years.
Nick, I want you and Daisy to come over to my house. I want to show her around.
And just like that, Gatsby and Daisy rekindled their love. Although they had not met for 5 years, they loved one another like no time had passed. It was to be their little secret, since Daisy was married and all.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Oh, look at this one right here. That's so much.
Okay. Okay, good.
What are we to do with ourselves this afternoon? And the day after, and the day after that? Oh, Gatsby, you always look so cool. You always look so...
Alright, fine, let's go to town.
Shall we take my car?
Alright, let me take your car for a spin. You can take my coupe.
You go with Nick and Jordan. We'll follow you in the coupe.
It was only a matter of time before Tom and Gatsby butted heads. The tension between them was rising like the heat in a New York summer.
What?
Did you see what happened back there?
What do you mean, Tom?
I've done some investigation on this Gatsby character. Oxford in my butt, more like Oxford, New Mexico or something.
Well, then why did you invite him?
It was Daisy that invited him. They knew each other from a while ago.
Pull over for some gas. I don't want to be stuck in this heat.
It's so hot in here. Open another window.
Stop complaining, you're only making it worse.
I'll leave her alone, old sport. Coming to town was your idea.
Where did you pick up that expression, old sport?
Don't attack him, Tom.
Just one more question. What kind of a role are you trying to make in my house anyhow?
Have some self-control.
Self-control? I suppose. The latest thing is to sit back and let Mr. Nobody from Nowhere make love to your wife. Well, if that's the idea, you can count me out. I know I'm not very popular. I don't give big parties. I suppose you got to make your house into a pigsty in order to have friends in the modern world.
Boy, do I have a surprise for you, old sport.
Why don't we all just go home? It's getting a little too hot.
No, I want to hear this.
Your wife doesn't love you. She never loved you. She loves me.
I can't speak about what happened 5 years ago because I didn't know Daisy then. But Daisy loved me when she married me, and she loves me now.
You're revolting.
Just tell him the truth, that you never loved him, and it's all wiped away forever. You never loved him.
I never loved him.
What happened next in the saga of Daisy and Gatsby? Oh well, I wouldn't want to keep you. You were just stopping by for a visit after all. We'll save the ending for another day. What do you say, old sport? Same time next week?